Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's your favorite podcasting attention whore. I am Rob Sesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rob Has a Podcast Live. Wednesday night, 28th of August, Zingbot night. And we got a fun recap to talk about everything that's going on. It's prank week. Wednesday night, and we are headed towards potentially an eviction coming up 24 hours from now. We got a really fun guest here with us to talk about everything that's going on. She is the winner of Sequester Season 2 and a frequent contributor to the My Weekly Meltdown podcast. Please welcome Kim Mattina. Kim, how are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me on, Rob. I'm so excited to be here. And Brent, thank you so much.
Yes, well, that was one. Brent doesn't have a lot of demands, but one of the things that he had he said, I need to have Kim Mattina on the podcast. Make it happen. I said, you got it, Brent. And here he is.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Kim, it's a true story. Honestly, I watched you on My Weekly Meltdown with Allison, Tyler, and I really, really took a liking to you, but you're typically the demographic that I take a liking to. So then I watched you in season 2 of Sequester, not knowing the outcome. And one of the reasons I wanted to watch it was because there were people on there from Big Brother Canada who I had watched before, also Big Brother US in Jesse and Hamza and Judd. And I was like shocked. I shouldn't have been shocked when you were declared the winner of season 2 of Sequester. And you took it to him, Mama. Congratulations.
I'll tell you what, I mean, especially with Hamza, oh my God, we went head to head on things. And I mean, the fact that I came out the winner was incredible because I can say it to him all the time.
Yeah. Kim, could you give us a little bit of setup for the uninitiated? What is Sequester?
You know what? Sequester is an online reality game that is happening live. So it happens down in Georgia, or it did last year, and it's going to again this year. And season 3 actually begins the 25th of September is when they are going to hit the house. It's the best way to compare it to anything. It is definitely not Big Brother. Although we all live in the house.
Chestnut checkers, would that be a fair comparison?
It is definitely it's chestnut checkers. And it's very fluid. It's the format literally changes every single round. Mm-hmm. So you may have an ally that you may not have the next round. You may not even have the opportunity to have them as an ally. So it's very unpredictable, which makes the show exciting and makes it playing it is like one of the most stressful things. I mean, even Hamza and Jesse and Cindy and Krista from The Amazing Race played in my season. Judd played in my season. Mm-hmm. They all walked away from it going, this is more stressful than it was playing in their respective shows. And it's amazing. If you wanted to compare it to anything, if you've ever seen the Korean game show, The Genius.
Yes.
Oh, Rob's seen it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it kind of follows the pattern of that because it is so unpredictable.
Sounds very fun. Happy to have you here with us tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about your Big Brother fandom? Would you say, are you a Big Brother mega fan like Nicole?
Oh my gosh. As a Big Brother mega fan, I cannot believe I am in the presence of Zingbot.
Mega fan? What's a mega fan?
I guess it's bigger than a super fan. I don't know.
Bro,
I thought I was a super fan.
A super fan? Adam Klein famously said he was a super, I am a super duper fan of Survivor. But Nicole is the first mega fan of Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'd say she probably is.
Kim,
I don't know. I think
that
the
a
word
couple of weeks ago where some person went to the house with a mega fan and tried to tell everyone what was going on.
Yes. Yes, I particularly enjoyed that mega fan, although Taran did not.
Yeah.
Yes, that
Taran
mega
is very
fan was
anti-mega fan.
he is very but it's shocking too because he loves Nicole. I would never have guessed, but yes, I think that's where the super fan gets thrown around a lot in Big Brother parlance. Even Robin Cass was on Twitter today talking with people about super fans and whether they're good or bad for the show. She's the casting producer for Big Brother, by the way, in Big Brother Canada. So I think that maybe that gets a bad rap. So that's why Nicole said mega fan.
Yes. Kim, do they have a lot of recruits on Sequester?
Very
what's the policy
few.
on recruits versus people that apply?
It's not, well, last I heard, Audrey wasn't hanging out on Tinder looking for people. And as far as I know, she's also not sitting on a bar stool somewhere in Atlanta going, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
So I think we're good.
Are there ever any people that are like secretly that they're the nephew of somebody's ex or anything like that? They don't make a mistake like that or anything?
We haven't had any relatives in there as far as I know. I think I would have found out after the fact. No relatives, no relations. One of them I thought was my kid, but he wasn't. So we were all good there.
Let's talk about tonight's Big Brother. Of course, tomorrow night we will have the eviction show. Caitlin Herman's going to be back here in the studio. We're going to take your questions here live tonight. Hashtag RHAP as we had the Zingbot. And I know, Brent, there was a lot of talk about the Zingbot. Did the Zingbot lose some miles off the fastball? The Zingbot, is the Zingbot jumped the shark? The Zingbot was fine tonight. I think that the problem is we hear about the jokes, and they're not as funny it's a little bit you had to be there, I think, with the Zingbot.
Yeah, the Jessica Zing in particular was one that I thought played really well on the show and was actually probably the truest one out of the 8. But it got lost in translation when we were hearing about it, Kim, because it was like Jessica was in the house complaining about, oh, I'm a snooze fest. The Zingbot said I'm a snooze fest. No, the Zingbot said your game was resembling a snooze fest and that they're throwing a party for you, which obviously gives new meaning to the word snooze fest. So I actually agree with you that even though a couple of the zings were probably a little bit hurtful, namely...
Yeah. I mean, the Zingbot has never gone 8 out of 8 on any year of coming into the house. Kim, now just touch on the zing that Brent brought up about that Jessica, your game is a snooze. That's actually the one I had the biggest problem with because I don't like it when the Zingbot tells people about what their edit is or what the perception is.
You know what he did? He totally made she, according to Brittany, she made it sound like kind of brought a low-key game into play that maybe shouldn't have. I think he might have exposed a little bit of her game, but I don't think he exposed anything that they didn't already see. Yeah. She has been...
Yeah, Rob, just to stop you right there. I mean, Jackson, this is not a spoiler, but he was on the feeds talking to somebody today, and he was like, look, we're fine. As long as we go into the next HOH competition, it's 4 versus 2. He forgot about Jessica.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally didn't know she was there.
I know, but...
Well, and at the end of the zing, he was like, she said, I know nothing, which just... encapsulated her entire game right now.
I'm just thinking if I'm in the house and I'm hearing about, even the Zingbot is piling on that Jess is a snooze fest, then I'm going to be more inclined to want to take her to the end. And I feel like that's something that is not overall a positive for the show if people are going to be more incentivized to keep Jess around.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty true. I mean, but Rob, I feel like this sort of thing comes into existence all the time. Whereas, with the field trip, they let the house guests know how America was feeling, and Jackson, of course, got it right away. America does not like.
To me,
what
I feel like that was a little bit more that there was some wait, does America hate us? It wasn't a flat out, hey, just so you know, America hates you. I think that was a little bit more. Where that they could sort of if they wanted to read it a different way, but this was just flat out just your game is super boring. You are a snooze fest.
Well, what's she? It kind of is. Maybe the producers are kind of
everybody knows. Everybody knows she is.
I think they didn't know what to do with her. Honestly, although to be fair, she did get out the biggest player of the season, or the most.
And that's what's crazy. She's still a snooze fest.
I know. I really feel like they're just they don't know what to do with Jessica.
They don't know what to do.
This is we've encountered this before in reality television. They don't know what to do with Jessica.
Yeah.
Seriously, she HOH followed by a veto, gets out the biggest player of the season, and is the snooze fest of the season.
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
All right.
It's hard to win.
Yeah, we're talking about the Zingbot. Kim, did you have a favorite zing of the night?
I had a least favorite zing.
Which one?
I did not like. Nicole.
Yeah,
He said, you have no friends, you have
No boyfriend,
in here, you have no
and no
boyfriends,
social
you have no
interaction.
contact
Yeah.
with the outside world. You must feel right at home. And everybody, all the rest of the house guests are like, no, Nicole, that's not true.
Yeah, but see, I feel like that helps her in the game a little bit because they're like, oh, poor sweet Nicole, and they really are not worried about her. Like, I swear, if Cliff and Nicole go on the block, Kim, it's going to be Cliff that gets the short end of the stick there. So I really feel like that zing in particular was probably helpful to Nicole.
Although I really liked the Cliff zing. I think that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Because they had this whole lead up that it was Jessica, voluptuous, big busted.
The retelling was just like, they're fat shaming Cliff. They're calling him a dad bod. But just the misdirection, Brent, of that. I think at that point, I think it was Cliff and Jess and Jackson. I think were the only people left. So it was like going to. It's gonna be Jess, and then you get the swerve that it was Cliff. It was fine, and he seemed like a good sport, and I like the blurring of Cliff's nipple. Also.
I know, right? Who knew? Kelly Hogg, oh my God, your dad's nipples are blurred for us on TV. Thank goodness.
But Kelly Hogg, she's got to be dying right now after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know from the feeds if Cliff was if his feelings were hurt, but he seems to take it in stride with the Zingbot. But the Zingbot is in new territory here, maybe inspired by Gallagher, where the Zingbot has become a prop comic for the first time, Kim. He brings a present for Nick.
He did. He brought a present for Nick, and it was so appropriate since we've been saying it since the beginning of the season. He brought him the bowl for his haircut.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I had no idea where that came from. I was seeing it on the feeds because they don't have a bowl like that I have seen in the Big Brother house. They have like cereal bowls, but it looks different. And I was like, where did he get that bowl from? And then to find out that Big Brother brought it, or Zingbot brought it as a prop, I thought was really funny. And I'm glad they had Nicole in the set up the fact like we're really talking about, because he looks beher now. They've metrosexualed up his hair, Kim, but
give him a makeover.
Back in the day when he first walked in the house.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I figured instead of I wish Sam had been in the house right here for this, because I think that Sam would have brought out, instead of bring it, he would have said, go ahead, Rob.
Send it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was such a good setup for it, but no Sam.
Yeah.
No Sam.
Don't get me worked up again about thinking about how Sam should be in the house and not Nick.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It gets me
I tried.
that you have a person who would have brought, I think, a lot more fun than Nick has brought. How about Holly? We knew Holly was upset, Brent, that she was an old buzzard, according to the Zingbot. What did you think in seeing it play out?
I thought it was pretty good, and actually a real misdirection. Like, I was prepared for the Cliff misdirection, because I was like, okay, there's only four people left, and this is going somewhere. It's obviously talking about Cliff when you're talking about voluptuous, big busted. Like, I knew where that was going. But the Holly one, if I didn't hear about it beforehand, I would not have seen that coming. You've been living for however many days with an old buzzard in the house. Holly, and I was like, holy cow. And it really got her right in the chops. And it was like the zing, zing, zing of it all, because not only was it that zing, but then after the fact, when Tommy was explaining what a buzzard was, then it was like she got zinged again.
Well, and if anybody has missed from the live feeds, that allegedly the way Tommy explained it was that she is a buzzard because she's going after Kat's sloppy seconds, which,
right.
Kim, do you believe that that's the origin of this zing, or is this an interpretation that was not meant by the Zingbot?
I don't think that was really meant by the Zingbot.
I don't think so either.
I think it was just a shot at Holly, because she's Holly Allen, 24, Wyoming, but now she's Holly Allen, 31, Wyoming, and she's got 7 years, I think, on Jackson.
Yeah.
So, she's definitely in cougar territory there.
No, I disagree. I think I got a 10 years difference, I think, for a cougar.
Okay, Puma?
Maybe. I think that if she was 35, I think that would be officially a cougar.
And you know what? And the old, like an old buzzard joke would definitely play off well for me, because I've got 30 years on them.
Yeah.
But Holly's only 7 years older, so calling her an old buzzard.
Yeah, Rob, like by this cast standards, besides Cliff, I mean, Holly is like one of the elder statesmen.
Sure, but I just think a lot of people are like, wait, why are they calling her old? Like, what? I don't think people know how old Holly is that are watching the show.
It's because Mickey is such a frat boy, Kim. And don't you feel like that's what it is? Like, he's such an immature little frat boy. I feel like that by comparison, she looks more mature and thus, older. I feel like that's where it's going.
Such a pompous douche.
Yeah. What do you think about Jackson, the pompous douche?
Jackson is a pompous douche.
Mm-hmm.
It was so accurate. It wasn't even a zing. It was accurate.
Yeah. I also thought that the Christi one was really strong, Brent. I liked that you got pretty loud during Taco Tuesday, not the fighting, the chewing, and then adding in the mana feasting also.
That was great. I loved that.
That was good.
I was very taken with Tommy and his reaction to Christi's zing after the fact, where he was like, she actually got off pretty well. Like, what about the crying and the manifesting and the powers and the crying? And I'm like, and after a while, it did seem to me like that was his true feelings coming through. Like, he really, like, there are parts of Tommy that I do feel like resent having Christi in the house. And I felt like this was one of the times where we got to see, like, the veneer dropped for a second, I feel like.
Kim, I think he was excited that she was going to get voted out last week.
You know what? I actually think he was. And when you think about it, in these games, year after year after year, when you get rid of that anchor, I think Christi is Tommy's anchor.
Yeah.
And he was ready to drop anchor. He was prepared for it.
Yeah.
Let's go. And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And now he's got to recover.
This is the first of 2 Seinfeld references that I'll make in this podcast. That when Christi was going to be going home last week, he was like George when he found out that Susan had passed away, where he was like, that's a shame. All right. Should I get coffee? Should we get coffee? What should we do? He was not gutted that Christi was going to go home, Brent.
No.
He was not. We caught this last week that he was like, oh, you're saying? Really? Oh, okay, great. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like that was necessarily true then. And I don't necessarily feel like it's true now. Look, I know that there are a lot of people that have a problem with the fact that Christi and Tommy are in the house together, that they have an outside relationship. I get all that. Tommy, though, never signed up to have Christi Murphy in the house with him. He didn't know she was going to be there. She was an alternate to be true. So, like, to actually call a spade, you have to recognize the fact that Tommy, like, if I'm him, I'm kind of a little bitter about it in some ways, because he can't even really vote this week, because he is really close to Nick and he is really close to Christi. But because of the outside relationship, it's like he has to vote to save Christi, and he really can't side with Nick, even though maybe there's a part of him that wants to, and I feel like there is a part of him that wants to save Nick more than Christi, but he can't because of what all his friends back home would say.
Yeah, because he wants to be the person that gets the most attention, Kim.
Yeah, he definitely wants to get the most attention. He is an attention whore.
Yes.
Oh, Rob, that
really
was
is.
Okay, so is Tommy an attention whore? Holly seemed to think so.
Me? An attention whore? No.
Funniest Holly diary room of the season.
Ever. Kim.
Good job.
Oh my
More
God.
personality.
Okay.
More
Yes.
personality.
And Tommy was a good sport about it.
Attention whore? I am not an attention whore.
As
With
he
his
did
legs
the
spread.
Yeah.
With his legs spread in the New York accent. Oh my God. I love it. Having lived there.
Yes.
It wouldn't have come across the same way if he were from California. It's like an attention whore.
An attention whore? Me?
I have to say that accent sends me every time, Kim. It's just like I want. There's parts of me that want to dislike Tommy because he's a very to me he plays a very passive game, and I just don't identify with his particular brand of game playing.
Right.
But his accent makes him so lovable, and it's really hard for me to completely hate it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, an attention whore.
So the Zingbot, we've followed the story of the Zingbot for many years. The Zingbot and I came into the me podcasting and the Zingbot's first appearances. We're both all the way back in 2010. And what a ride it's been for the Zingbot through marriage and childbirth and then ultimately a career in politics, Brent, which somehow has ended up with some sort of a galactic space force coming for the Zingbot.
It was news to me. I thought we were still living with the Zingbot still having like a year and a half in office. Like I wasn't aware of the fact that he had resigned or had been impeached. But that impeached Zingbot movement, it's really catching on, Rob.
Oh,
I feel like that.
I believe last season, Kim, we really explored the corrupt administration of the Zingbot, but now this thing has really spiraled.
It's erupted, and I mean the fact that they brought Putin into it.
Yes.
Even
Well, no,
though they
it was
pronounced it different. It was Putin.
But not Vladimir Putin. A different.
Department of Zingland Security! President Zingbot, you are under arrest! You're being charged with obstruction of justice, collusion with President Pumpkin, and things against humanity. Come with me! Hands to the sky, Pinball!
I think he's with President Pumpkin.
President Poutine, like Anthony?
No, not Canadians. No.
No, it wasn't
Pumpkin.
Poutine. They didn't throw. It sounded like Pumpkin. It was like President Pumpkin. I'm like, oh yeah, no throwback there at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I wonder how many of the television episode only viewers are going to realize that he was the alien. Just like a couple weeks ago.
And
not many.
Do you think, Brent, that Jackson had a few words for the security forces investigating the Zingbot after Alan the alien broke the watermelon recently?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he was thrilled to win the veto and set the Zingbot free and piss off the Zingbot police force, because that was the same guy who busted Jackson's watermelon, and he went in the diary room to tell them. So Alan the alien busted one of my watermelons. Can we get Ray on that, please?
Yeah.
Can we get Ray on it?
Yeah, he was complaining. One more watermelon.
Large watermelons, as many as y'all can get. If we're able to get more watermelon, that would be great. Alan the alien smashed one of the watermelons.
Yeah. Ironically, that was the same reaction that Alan the alien had after the Zingbot got away. They did it again when he came back from commercial also. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Did you? That was a really fun editing there, where they they had him like doing it as they were leaving, and then it came back from commercial, and he was still doing it, and they closed the door, and you could still hear him. Like that was well done, Big Brother. Okay. I liked that.
All right, that's a lot.
I did like the edits.
The fun stuff from tonight. Let's talk about the game here. We got to see a little bit beforehand of what's going to go on with the replacement if it happens. Ultimately, we're not going to have the replacement used, but Nick is going to start to go to work on Jackson, Brent. And Nick is really trying to sell like, hey, I could have put you on the block, dog. Could have put you on the block, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on the round table. He really made such a mistake in the order of events in which he decided to reveal his cards this week. Nick, I'm talking about. He really had an opportunity to avoid the block altogether by going to Holly and saying, look, I have the prankster power. Can we work something out? Obviously, that would be the harder sell. He could have done it with a softer sell, Kim, but there was a way for him to say, look, because the one thing she didn't want to have happen was for Jackson to go home under her HOH. He could have gone to her and said, look, I have the prankster power. I will not put Jackson up if you don't put me up on the block. Deal? Like, cause and you saw in this episode, she's like, well, if Christi goes home, that's not the worst thing that could happen. So that I feel like that was a key he could have easily turned, and for some reason he didn't see it. He didn't see the big picture.
Nope, he did not see it in advance, not at all.
Now, the conversation between Christi and Holly came when that Jackson and Holly were very off-put by Christi's reaction to sort of implying that, okay, you guys wanted me to be a pawn at some point, and so here I am on the block as a pawn for you guys this week. So we are even. That I have now satisfied the requirements of the deal that we made. And Kim, they didn't like that.
They did not like that at all. And Christi's attitude of it was, okay, we're done. I'm washing my hands of it and moving on. And Christi and Holly and can I just call them Macbeth?
Macbeth,
yes.
okay.
Holly and Mickey. Okay. So Macbeth's reaction was, wait, hold on. We've done more for you than you've done for us. And just playing a pawn where we're keeping you safe, not enough. And I don't think they appreciate that at all.
Yeah. And for Christi with Holly, to go back to that second Seinfeld reference that I wanted to make, this is like when Jerry traded or got a suit from Kenny Bania, who wanted to go for a meal. And so Jerry took him out, and he wanted to go to Mendy's for the best swordfish in the city, and Bania got the soup. And then felt like, well, this isn't the meal. I just got a soup. And Jerry said, no, this is the meal. This is Christi and Holly is this the meal, or now does she still owe another meal?
Yeah, but that Kim, I feel like it really ignores the fact that Holly made a mistake in telling Christi early on, and I can't remember if did they show this on the episode? Yes. It all blurs together to me. Yeah, Holly made a mistake before the prankster power was revealed, that she told Christi that, hey, I'm probably going to use you as a pawn this week to get Nick out of the house. And Christi was like, I really don't want to be a pawn, but I realize that's part of a deal. Of course, it was, a lot more hysterical than that, but she told her, I'm going to use you as a pawn. So, but then when she found out she only has one nomination, Holly went to Christi and was like, so I've been thinking, and I'm not going to use you as a pawn after all.
That
completely
part was not on the episode.
That part was not on the episode. She went to Holly and she went to Christi and said, look, I'm not going to put you up. But that ignores the fact that she only has one nomination to put up, and she really wants to get Nick out of the house. Of course, the prankster ended up putting up Christi anyway. I feel like Christi's, if I'm the moral arbiter here, I feel like Christi's in the right in saying, you know what, I know you were going to put me up anyway if your power didn't get taken away. So it's sort of like neither here nor there whether or not the prankster did it or not. I'm on the block. This is my penance. Girl, bye.
Yeah.
Wait, so you think that the soup is the dinner?
Yes.
Soup's
the soup is dinner.
I want the sword. No. I want the swordfish. Holly wants the swordfish. Holly didn't get the swordfish.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't a dinner.
She's getting the swordfish every night, from what I hear.
Hey. So I don't know. I kind of feel like that for Christi to really push the envelope on this. I guess that Holly can't play in the next HOH. I mean, when is there going to be another time when they're going to try to put her on the block as a pawn? I mean,
yeah, not really. They're down to it. Exactly. There's 7 people left after this week. I just don't understand Jackson and Holly where they think that they can hide behind anybody else. They are clearly the biggest targets in the game. If Christi stays in the house, you can tell just by watching the episode that Christi is likely going to go after Jackson and Holly, no matter what she's selling them right now. Mm-hmm. So I feel like in Christi's eyes, her deal is totally fulfilled. She's on the block as a pawn. She's doing her penance. And Nick is now out of the house. So who the hell else is she going to go after? But they don't see it though. Exactly. They think Holly and Jackson, aka Macbeth, think that they're in the middle. but they are not in the middle, Rob. They are on the outside firing at other people, and they don't realize it.
Yeah. Kim, could you talk a little bit about Christi and what you thought about her game? Because I thought she had a pretty good read about Jackson being the a pompous douchebag, and then really appealing to his pompousness in terms of how he is her hero.
You know what? Christi is at one with the universe, of course. So she feels all things that are going on. So she feels the pompous douchebag. She feels where she is in the house, and she knows she's going to be safe.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. As far as her game, I think Christi is playing a great game. To be honest with you, she really is. She's playing the angles. She's playing the people, and they know she's so fake, but they're not reading that fakeness as being gameplay. They're just thinking Christi's fake. She's fake bitch, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's not going further than that. And it really should, because if she comes off the block, which it looks like she will.
Meaning survive the eviction.
Yeah. That's 3 evictions in a row that Christi did not go home. And she flipped a vote in between. That's a winner at it going on.
Yeah, but Kim, I feel like in some ways that the veto results really solidified her case to stay, though, because she was terrible during the veto. And Nick, if Jackson, well, that's what she says. That we haven't revealed that yet on the show, but she says she threw that in the feed. She says she threw it, but no one really buys that. I just think she was outright horrible at it. But like I said, Nick was within inches away from winning the veto again. If Jackson's chip doesn't come out of the bag, I really feel like that Nick has this, and she would have been going home. But as it stands, if I was in the house and I didn't know about the secret relationship between Tommy and Christi, I would fear Nick far more than I fear Christi.
Who would have gone up in that scenario, Brent? Where if Nick took himself down, who would Holly have put up? Jess?
I think she probably puts up Jess to get Christi out. That's what she was saying she was going to do, and I don't feel like she would have put up Tommy. So I think in that case, but as I recall from earlier in the week, she started off her HOH reign by saying that, Nick's going to be my target. I'm going to put Nick and Christi up on the block. Nick goes. If Nick wins the veto, I'll put Jess up. Jess goes. So no matter how you split it, they were going to save Christi. Now, after Christi's reaction to Holly telling her she's going to put her on the block, and then Christi trying to take credit for being a pawn when Holly didn't put her up, I feel like maybe their tune has changed here a little bit, and they might have wanted to get Christi out in the end, but that's what she was saying at the beginning of the week.
I think she could have figured out a way to stay, especially against Jess, Kim. I think it would have been like a repeat of her on the block versus Sis.
It would have been, because Sis was a laydown, Jess is a laydown. I think it would have been almost an identical campaign. And yeah, Nick was close. He was close to winning. I think he had 3 balls left to go.
Yeah.
But I do have to kind of give the quote of the night to Christi in relation to all of that, because she was in the DR.
And here I have it for you.
My balls are all over the place.
Exactly. My balls are all over the place.
Yes.
I'm shocked that Christi doesn't know how to handle balls. I really am, Kim. You could have fooled me.
You would think she had that skill, but
no.
Okay.
Tommy would have killed the competition. Let's face it.
I know, right? They better be glad Tommy wasn't in that competition.
Nick was right there too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nick was right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So ultimately, I thought, speaking of Nick and Tommy, that there was an interesting conversation, Brent, where Nick very slyly is going to reveal to Tommy, he's the prankster, bro. He's the prankster, cuz, and so don't tell anybody, and I got to bring Tommy in.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like that here's the thing, you guys, like if he would have told Tommy at the beginning of the week, like, I'm the prankster, I feel like Tommy would have tried to say, no, you don't want to put up Christi. Who you want to put up is Mickey. You want to put up Mickey up on the block. Now, obviously, Mickey would have won the veto, but then Nick would have got to name the replacement nominee. So I don't even know what he does then. But it would have been true that I think Nick would have done himself a world of good if he would have revealed this information sooner, not only to Tommy, but to Holly and Jackson by telling him that he was a prankster. He did everything in reverse. It's like he skipped all the steps that he needed to take and just went to the end and was like, oh, well, like I'm the prankster, so you can tell that I'm loyal, and I didn't put you up. I didn't put you up, Tommy. Jackson, I didn't put you up. You can tell that I'm loyal, so obviously you want to keep me this week. Completely neglecting to remember that he didn't trust them enough to tell them that he was the prankster in the first place, and that's got to send up a red flag to one of them, if not both of them.
Kim, it's even in the diary room that Tommy is trying to tell us that he is as equally as conflicted if if Nick goes home or if Christi goes home.
No, Brent, quote, bullshit. He is in there. He's playing the game to the audience. I think that honestly think that he's playing for America's favorite player, maybe more so than he is for winning the game. I think that he's got limited shots at the game, but he's definitely playing to America on that.
Well, like, let's be clear, Rob. Tommy's aware of the fact that they had a mega fan over the wall earlier in the week or last week. And so he is aware of the intention of what the person was. For those of you who don't understand our jokes, there was a person who used a megaphone to try to expose the fact that Tommy knows Christi. And Tommy is aware of that. He knows that there was somebody from America who was trying to expose the fact that him and Christi are secretly working together.
Right.
That really sent him in a bad way. He was not happy about that, thinking that people wanted to hurt him and expose the fact that he knows Christi in the game. So I feel like that's maybe something that's getting lost here as well.
I have some bad news for Tommy. I think in my power rankings for America's favorite player, I don't think he's in the top 4.
I don't think he makes top 3. I'm really hoping that he's standing next to Julie Chen, Kim, and we get like the Frankie Grande face where like you're not even in the top 3, bitch.
I think I think he's behind Cliff. I think he's behind Nicole. I think he's behind Jackson. And he might be behind Kat.
And he might be behind Kemi.
Possibly.
Behind Kemi.
If he comes out higher than 5th, I'll be shocked.
Because guess what? America doesn't like Christi, and he's attached at the hip. He's guilty by association, Kim.
Absolutely, 100% he is. And he, like I said, he needs to drop anchor.
Yeah,
he has to.
I agree, but Kim, the other thing that they're really leaving out in the edit is the fact that Christi and Tommy know each other. I mean, he's talking about these two people like they're equal, like they're apples and apples, when really we know they're apples and oranges. He might like Nick on a personal level, and as I mentioned previously in the podcast, on balance, would like to keep him in the house. But compared to Christi, there's no choice for him. He's going to keep Christi, and they're not. I don't like the fact that the show is sort of snowing us into believing that there's an actual choice for Tommy here, because there's not. And it's also a little bit of a disservice to Nick, because Nick is not aware that Christi and Tommy know each other, so he can't coordinate his campaign in such a way that really gets behind the thing that he needs to get behind, which is he needs to throw Tommy under the bus.
Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow night,
agree.
We have our eviction. Now, it's been prank week. We've seen so many prank weeks all week long. Even tonight, we had a prank on us, the viewers, as they went through our previously on Big Brother, and we got pranked with...
Find out right now on Big Brother.
Come on and get nice and fat, my sweeties.
Gotcha,
Kim.
Gotcha. Kim, wait, I have a question. Were you like me? Because I always fast forward past this part because I know what happened last time on Big Brother. So then I saw JC and Tyler.
Exactly.
And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I rewound it. Then I thought they made a mistake. And then I rewound it again. I'm like, oh, okay.
I fast forwarded through the JC, and then I saw JC on the screen, and it's like, wait, what's going on here? Rewind back up. Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, and they played one of my favorite clips. I was just so happy.
Come on and get nice and fat, my sweeties.
My sweeties.
Yes, so when he made the hot dog.
I made like a pasta with hot dogs, ground beef, and everything I found around the house.
Oh
goals make everybody fat.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, was that because that was a prank, Kim, that he was pranking everybody?
I think so. I think it was throwback to, because he really was. He was pranking everybody with intent last season.
Okay.
And so it was an appropriate flashback.
Okay. So we had all the pranks. We're pranking Holly's HOH. And then we got all the pies. We had a great moment with Nick getting pie in the face in the diary. I don't know why he was listening.
That was good.
The producer asked him, Nick, so what'd you eat today? Yo, dog, I had like a carnita. I had like a taco.
What was that?
Tacos. Yeah. I had nachos.
Yeah. He thought he was going to be safe as long as he stayed in the DR. I thought that was really funny and how they all snuck in there. And I was so glad it was Nicole that ended up getting him, because that was a real pie to the face.
Absolutely.
Nicole does it right, Kim. She's not like Cliff, who does like the little poop. Like Nicole's like wham, like right to the kisser.
Brett, they tried.
Well, she even said.
Yeah, they tried to make it like
she was going out
there. She is getting justice for all of the things that these terrible people have done this season. That a couple pies to the face. I think we're good here, right?
Yeah, I really wish they would have done a Big Brother flashback, like where they sometimes do a flashback and it's like black and white with the 9 of them up in the HOH room, undeniable, bullying Nicole and not even letting her into the room. So that would have been a good flashback, but maybe that would have been a little bit too serious. Yeah. So I was glad she got her revenge.
Could we send some pies to the jury house? Would that be good? Like delivery.
Whoever gets voted out tomorrow night should just take a pie to the jury house, and whoever opens the front door,
okay,
right up.
Then we got slime in the Veto chips.
Yes, I actually didn't realize the Veto chips were still in there. I thought they were going to bring out like another box that had like the real chips in there.
Yeah, they were still in there.
Yeah, you had to like dig through like the slime and the egg yolk and whatever the hell else was in there to get the chips. And oh my goodness!
Okay,
so for a hot second, I thought it was honey that was.
Me
in
too.
there.
I couldn't tell what it was. Yeah.
Okay, so many different pranks this week. Could there be one more, Kim, tomorrow night? Could the eviction tomorrow night be a prank?
I do not think so.
Okay.
I've got to agree with what Taran has said.
What did you say?
No.
Kim? What? You're agreeing with Taran?
I know. I am agreeing with Taran, which is amazing. But I do agree with him on this. I really do. I love Taran's podcast. I disagree with most of what Taran says, although I love his strategy talk.
Like what in particular? What do you disagree with?
Get him, Kim. Get him.
I disagree with some of his player worship that goes on. And although this season with Taran, I am agreeing on Nicole, because I really I appreciate her as a player. So the fact that Taran loves her, I'm on the same side of the fence with him. But
this time you agree with them.
I agree with him. I do not think there's going to be a prank. I think there would have been hype leading up to it. If nothing else, I was waiting for it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Even if they would, I thought maybe they'd tease with a question of,
there was no
will
tease.
there really be an eviction?
No tease whatsoever in the Mr. Announcer Man, Brent.
No.
Yeah, I was like Kim. I was waiting for a little hint of something, but we got nothing. So if they're going to prank us tomorrow, air quotes, with no eviction or reset of some sort, it's really going to be a shock to me, because I don't see one coming. I'm really going to be pissed if Big Brother does a prank week and this eviction means nothing, or if they do a reset of some sort, because there was so much gameplay that happened this week and so many things exposed to the house guests about who's loyal to who, to have all of that just, say, oh, well, try again. That meant nothing. I feel like that it's really going to have a wide repercussion on the season.
Yeah, I think that it was not I think there's a way you could have done prank week and also not necessarily had the eviction that would not have made it feel like sticking your hand into a Veto box filled with slime. I think that if they did it at this point, I do think people will be up in arms, but I do think they want that double eviction, Kim.
They could have just as easily have done an America's vote because, we never know for sure how the vote came out because we don't see the final stats. But if they really wanted to do a reset week this week, they could have done an America. They could have thrown that in there tonight and said for the next 24 hours, you vote. But they didn't. And I think it's a real slap in the face to the fans if they all of a sudden just pull this out of the blue.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm also of that opinion as well. Also, the fact that we went through all the trouble of choosing a prankster to say, well, we don't care about what you do, America, even though you chose this particular prankster and they chose whatever course of action, to say that none of that meant anything. So we voted on something that meant nothing. Is that what you're telling us?
I mean,
again, Julie Chen doesn't lie to us. I feel like that's
right.
the tone here, that there is going to be an eviction tomorrow.
But that implies that she knows exactly what's going on. Like she knows what's what. Like if they load that into the prompter,
that's true.
I don't think she.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, I don't feel like the show would let her lie to us. Is what I'm trying to get at. So I feel like if there is going to be a reset of some sort, I feel like they knew that last week, and I don't feel like they would let Julie say what she did. I feel like they would have been a little bit softer about their wording and said, hey, it's prank week. Yeah. Will there be an eviction next Thursday? Find out Thursday night. Like they want us to watch.
Right.
The fact that they've done nothing special.
But the fact that they want you to watch, so if they tell you, hey, by the way, this Thursday, you don't have to tune in. Look, I know that football is going to preempt the show. Don't worry, you're not going to miss anything.
Yeah,
that's the problem. That's why maybe they can't say it.
No, but I still think that they would have given us a cliffhanger at the end of tonight's show, if nothing else. I think they would have dangled that carrot out there just to make sure that people are willing to come back and bite. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen tomorrow night? Yeah. They did not give us the soap opera cliffhanger.
I think that we'll know in the first 5 minutes of the show if Julie says something like, and all week it's been prank week here in the Big Brother house, where the house guests have been pranked in all sorts of different ways, but is the biggest prank yet to come? But first, and then we'll go into that. I think there'll be a tease in the intro.
But first,
I agree. Yeah. I agree. If there's a tease in the intro, then we know it's coming. If it's not there, then it's happening like normal.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll see. So
and Rob, I'm on record as saying that they can still have a double eviction if they alter the way they go from 5 to 3. They always do like a fast forward from 5 house guests to 3 house guests in years past. If they just have like a normal 5 to 4 week and a normal 4 to 3 week, I feel like they can grab a double eviction in there somewhere. And as I said previously, they could have it for when we're in New York doing our live Big Brother show. That would be great.
Yes. Okay. All right. Good stuff. All right. So let's take some questions here from the listeners, and let me see. Scott, do we not have a question? Is that what that we had?
Were we that thorough?
We had questions up, and then okay. So let's go. Why don't we then let's go to the live feeds, and then we'll come back, and then if Scott has questions for me, he'll put them up. Okay.
Okay. Well, while you're pulling that up, though, just remember.
Yes.
The best way to show loyalty is when no one's looking.
That's right.
Always remember that.
Remember that. Okay.
Don't look.
Okay. Let's okay, got some questions. Granddaddy Taran says, was Big Dick Johnson sent into the house by production to save the episode from the Zingbot's horrible zings? That's the name of the character that from wrestling who has been a master of disguise in the Big Brother house.
He really has, Kim. Oh my God. Like this guy can become anything. If it wasn't for his voice, I don't feel like I would know that it's him each time. But my goodness, he does a good job.
Mm-hmm. Between the green makeup and the sunglasses, yeah, he's done really, really well for himself with Big Brother. And I don't think he came in to save the Zing, but he definitely helped the Zing storyline.
And he did a total face plant when he was coming in the house,
Yeah.
like, which I was like, did anyone even notice that? And then they showed it again, and he talked about it in the DR. So I if he came to save anything, I think he failed miserably.
Yeah. I also thought he had some shade on Julie Chen from he was like all day, all night. Or that, I guess no, is it Julie says that or they said it like in every commercial? Yeah.
That was Julie's quote for Pop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very inside.
All day?
Yeah.
All night.
Okay. Then let's take this next question from James, who says, hey guys, do you think that Nick should have told Jackson, aka Pompous D-Bag, that and Holly that he was America's prankster and made some kind of deal with them, or would this have now mattered anyway?
What do you think, Kim? Do you think it would have mattered if he would have told him and made a deal right away?
Absolutely. Absolutely. By hiding it, he lived up to his quote that he was keeping that loyalty anonymous, because by not telling them, he was hoping to have a play on it. Mm-hmm. He was hoping to have a play on that in some way, shape, or form. If he had let them know up front and worked with them to do it, he'd be safe right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he would have too. I know some people are saying, well, look, Jackson ended up winning the veto, so maybe like Jackson would have used the veto on what, like whoever Holly named as a nominee and then threw Nick up on the block. But I don't think so. I think so. Because obviously if they made a deal with Nick, then it's probably going to be Christi who gets the short end of the stick. That means that Holly names Christi as her nominee. And Nick probably names, Jessica as his nominee. And in that universe, they have already pissed off Christi to high heaven by making her the target that week. I feel like that at that point, they're not going to use the veto to take her down and then put Nick up. That creates a lot more headache for them. I think at that point, they just let Christi go. Again, they don't have any loyalty to Christi. So in that instance, I really feel like Christi goes home.
Okay.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% on that. And I think it would have been Jess that went up. And I think because it was Nick's nomination. So if he had spilled it to them, I agree. I think they would have put Christi up. And I think that Nick would have put Jess up. And if Christi had come down, it's hard telling, but I think they would have put Tommy up, knowing that Nick would then vote out Jess.
It's tough. I don't think that. I mean, like if we're assuming the same universe where Jackson wins the veto, I feel like that in that instance he's probably not going to use the veto. Either he's going to backdoor Nick or he's not going to use the veto at all. So I feel like that's probably what would happen.
Okay, let's take a question from Noah. It says, where does the prison guard rank in Big Brother guest appearances in the like of Gallagher, Kathy Griffin, Gilbert Gottfried, Neil Patrick Harris, and others? I don't know if Gilbert Gottfried actually would made an appearance. I believe he was just the voice of OTEV one time. But I mean, I think the prison guard is a different thing than different celebrities that have visited the house, Brent.
Yeah, it's a different thing altogether. Although this guy's a lot more fun and approachable. Although Kathy Griffin was really fun in the house because Kathy Griffin is like us. She watches the feeds. She loves reality television. Obviously, she won Celebrity Mole Hawaii. So, I live for Kathy Griffin. Spoiler alert, sorry. But, the Big Dick Johnson and him coming in the house as the prison guard and then falling on his butt when he walked in the house. I think that was pretty fun, and I was here for it.
Okay.
And he had a good time with the Zingbot.
Let's take a question from Brock Masters. This is a great question. Who's cleaning up these pies? Now, Brent, first off, I really did not like it when that Jackson was supposed to get 3 pies. Actually, here, let me bring up this question from Alex Jacobs, the great Alex Jacobs, the great who is Alex Jacob on Twitter. Not a great look when Nicole's supposed to throw a pie in Jackson's face. Silly, but still part of the game. And Jackson is somehow allowed to roughly slap the pie out of her hand, and Nicole's cleaning up the mess over the outro music. Am I missing something? Yeah, that's exactly what I want to talk about. Why is Jackson allowed to stiff arm Nicole and block the pie?
Okay, I have nothing but respect for my favorite Jeopardy champion, Alex Jacob. But the problem is that Big Brother's leaving out some of the context here, Kim, that we know that Jackson and Nicole have been having a pie throwing contest for the past, 24 hours, 48 hours, I think. And this even occurred before the veto ceremony or the veto drawing ceremony. I can't remember when everything occurred, but it's getting lost on me. The point being, it was at the veto ceremony when they made her do him. So they had been doing this all weekend long. I mean, I remember working and seeing the clips of Nicole like hiding behind walls, waiting for Jackson to come out. So like they had been going at each other really, really hard for the past like 48 hours prior to the veto ceremony. And like he had successfully avoided her pies for the most part, although she did get him one time. I think this was just a reaction to that.
Twice,
he was okay with other people pieing him, but he wasn't going to let Nicole have it. So I don't know. Big Brother let him get away with it, and I was okay with it only because I understood the context. I understand though that some of the TV viewers might have had a bit of a problem.
Kim, who has to clean the walls? Do the contestants have to clean the walls when a pie hits the walls?
Yep.
They do?
Absolutely. They've been cleaning down the memory wall. They've been cleaning every mirror and the floors. A lot of Windex, a lot of mopping, a lot of sweeping to get that pie crust up.
Yeah.
But they've been doing it all. And thank God, because my OCD would have gone over the edge if they hadn't, because for anyone who's watched Big Brother for more than a year, they get ants in there every summer.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had not cleaned up the pie droppings, oh my God, the ants.
Yeah, I haven't seen as many ants this summer, and I don't know how with all those pie droppings all over the house, but they've done an okay job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this many ants since I was hanging out with Tommy. Christi, yeah.
With Tommy and the ants.
All right. And then Zaddy Taran has a question.
Oh, okay, wait. Hi, I have a question.
Okay, yeah,
Before you read this question, well, who are these people? Like Granddaddy Taran, Daddy Taran, Father Time Taran. Who are
Father Time Taran?
Who are these people?
Yes. So, are you complaining there's not more fake Brent accounts, or there's too many fake
No,
Taran
I'm not
accounts?
Complaining about that. I am not complaining about that. But this is what happens, Taran, because Taran let everybody know that he didn't like being called Daddy Taran. Of course, now there's like Granddaddy Taran, Daddy Taran. But anyway, moving on. What's the question?
I'm going to go on and make a new Twitter account that's like one Zaddy gay or
one Zaddy gay,
Zaddy Brand.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably all the same person, to be fair.
It's probably all the same person. That's probably true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zaddy Taran wants to know, Kim, what advice would you give to RHAP contributor and Sequester alumni Frail Mary to win Sequester?
Oh my gosh. Frail Mary. Okay.
Is Frail Mary back on Sequester?
I do not know the lineup of I cannot say the lineup of contestants for Sequester 3.
You see that backtrack. I don't know the lineup.
I heard on the new Sequester that you were coming in as a coach, and they had like a giant head of yours set up.
Mm-hmm. In the backyard, they're carving a big head out of Spam waiting for me.
Yeah.
But what advice would I give Frail Mary? I have played a game with Frail Mary before.
Yeah.
Actually, I've played.
Was it?
Well,
Nancy
other
Drew?
than Sequester.
Nancy Drew video game?
No, but I want to play Nancy Drew video games.
Me too.
I'm gonna sign up. Okay, I'll meet you over there. But Frail Mary, I would tell her, keep playing the way she plays, because let me tell you, that bitch has game. And anybody who's in a game with her needs to be scared.
Okay.
She is good.
Work. Yes. By the way, when we were in Philadelphia for the Know-It-Alls, I remember that Frail Mary was like in the middle of a game, and she was like talking about it all the time. She's like, I don't know what move I should make, and like my alliance wants me to do this, but I don't know if I should vote them out, and and like it's like
I was in that game.
Oh, were you really? Okay, well, she was here for it. She took it very seriously. So yeah, she's got game.
Okay.
Let me know. Sometime I'll send you the video of Frail Mary doing an original song called Franks and Beans.
Okay.
I'll send you the video.
Okay.
It's good.
It sounds like one of JC's
rice and
recipes.
beans.
I made like a pasta with hot dogs.
Rice and beans. That's different. Okay.
Rice and beans.
Okay. All right. And then the great Allison S. Kelly says, I'm so honored, so proud of Kim and Tina. Thank you so much. Rob Sister and One Lucky Gay. We love you all. Check her out on YouTube, okay? And then you can click the link, follow Allison on Twitter.
Yes, Allison, Tyler, and Debbie. Debbie, I'm so sorry. Your name went out of my head for a second. I was like, with Allison and Tyler, and then I was like, what's that girl's name? I can't remember. I know I follow her on Twitter, but I couldn't remember Debbie's name. But yes, follow all of them and check them out on my weekly meltdown.
Okay.
Definitely. They are huge fans of RHAP, and she endorses it every podcast.
And we appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's get to the live feeds. Let's talk some live feed spoilers. Talk about some intrigue potentially heading into tomorrow's vote. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be back tomorrow night with Caitlin Herman for the live show. If you want to take a look at that, Thursday night with Caitlin, we'll be live at 10:15 p.m. Eastern with Caitlin back here in the studio. Okay, and with that, let's get into talking about the spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
All right.
I had to do the ghost maracas for Nicole.
Ghost maracas. I tried to do like a pie face, but all right. Let's talk about spoilers, Brent. What's happening?
Yes.
What's happening with the vote?
We have big news for tonight on the Big Brother live feed. I'm just kidding. It's a prank.
Oh, you got me.
Prank week.
There's nothing happening.
Yeah, so here, this is prank week, okay?
Oh, prank week. Okay, Big Brother, you got me.
Yeah. You got me. No, to be totally fair, Nick has started his campaign, but it is too little too late. And he's doing everything wrong, too. He keeps confiding in Tommy, even though Tommy has told him, look, I made a promise. Or, we know the real deal is that Tommy and Christi know each other. But he's told Nick, look, I made a promise to Christi that I'm not going to vote her out before I knew who America's Prankster was. Oh, I'm so sorry. I wish you would have told me. Otherwise, I could have changed my vote. But that's what he's told him. But Nick still keeps confiding in Tommy, Kim, and it's really a detriment to his campaign because Tommy's not giving him any real advice. Tommy's giving him fake advice, stuff that's not going to work, and because Tommy wants Christi to stay, Tommy doesn't want Nick to stay, and I feel like that's his first problem.
Okay, Tommy is such a huge bullshitter, though, because this is classic, like where's Derek at for this interrogation? Because when Tommy and Nick were talking, and Nick would make his points. He actually numbered his points for Tommy, for everybody.
Yep.
But he would make the point, and Tommy would be like, well, and answer it with a question. Well, do you really think? And it's like, oh my God, Tommy, this is like detective work 101. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Nick's not picking up any of the hints. That's the problem. And
Nick doesn't pick up on subtle hints?
Not at all.
Kim, Nicole told Nick to throw Tommy under the bus, that's what he's going to need in order to stay. Basically, he is, like, Jessica's never going to change her vote. Obviously, Tommy isn't going to change his vote. Nicole has said, look, what you need to do is throw Tommy under the bus. You need to get Cliff, and you need to get Jackson. And by Jackson, you need Holly's blessing for that. That's what he needs. He doesn't see that. Tommy has done a good enough job bullshitting him to let him know, look, hey, I would consider breaking my word. But what he's really saying to Nick is, if the votes aren't there and the house is going another direction, then I'll vote with you. But he's not going to be a vote. And I have to say, it's really disgusting watching because Nick is campaigning to Tommy as if there's a chance of swinging his vote when we know from the outside that Nick doesn't know about the fact that Tommy and Christi have a pre-existing relationship, and there's no chance that Nick is going to get Tommy's vote. Right. So it's really tough to watch.
Let me ask you this. Exactly. So, I've heard this, that what Nick needs to do is throw Tommy under the bus. What are the goods that Nick has to throw Tommy under the bus with?
Well, he knows that Tommy and Christi are a lot closer than they're saying, and he has to know that Christi is going after Jackson and Holly, even though she has been snowing them well enough to let them know that she's going after Cliff and Nicole. Nick knows where Tommy and Christi are probably aiming if they win HOH, and he hasn't really exposed that to Jackson and Holly. I really feel like that if they knew how close they were, here's the problem, that Nick's sort of bromance, homance, whatever you want to call it, with Tommy, where he's cuddling with him and spending all his time with him, has really worked to Tommy's advantage because they view Nick and Tommy more as a pair than they do Tommy and Christi as a pair. That's what the house guests don't see right now. Tommy and Christi, to their credit, have done an admirable job hiding their relationship, not spending really any time together whatsoever. And so the house guests don't see it. He needs to really tie Christi to Tommy, let the house guests know you can't trust Tommy, you can't trust Christi. Christi's going to come after you. She thinks that her deal is null and void after this week. She wins HOH. She's going to put the two of you on the block. Nick even went to Jackson and Holly, and you'll love this, Rob. He used a condom as a prop to show them that he was their protection. He was the protection for Jackson and Holly. That, look, you don't have to do anything for me.
First time a condom has been used in the Big Brother house, right?
He literally got a condom out and showed it and threw it away to show Jackson Holly, look, you can use me as protection. I will work for you. You don't owe me anything. Just keep me here this week, and I'll work for you. If I win HOH, if I win the veto, I'll pull you down.
But Nick with the bowl on his head, I feel like that is not appropriate.
Yeah, it's probably appropriate, but he's just but then he makes mistakes in his campaign, Kim, because he says to Jackson and Holly, look, if there's a battle back or something and I come back in the house, I'm still not targeting you. Well, why would you tell them that? Like, because now they're like, well, we'll just vote you out anyway, and if you come back, then we know we're good.
Yeah, and it's like, no, you just say, if there's a battle back and you're not keeping me, I will remember that, and I will win that battle back, and I will come back, and I will come after you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I feel like that's better than what he said to them right now. I still feel like the way to go is really tying Christi to Tommy, but it's really tough. They've done a good job of separating ever since that wall yeller. They've done a really good job. It's not, you don't hear the house guests talk as much about Tommy and Christi anymore. Jessica even said that after this week, she doesn't view Tommy with anybody. She views him off on his own island somewhere. So they don't see what's right in front of them right now. The only person who I feel like does see it is probably Cliff, but it's in his best interest to get rid of Nick this week. I know that Christi was on the live feeds earlier today talking with Cliff, and she basically told Cliff, I'm going after Jackson and Holly, Kim, and people are like, they want Cliff to flip the vote because they don't like Christi, but it works to Cliff's advantage to get rid of Nick, because getting Nick out of the house really ties Christi to Tommy, and it brings Nicole, she won't have anywhere to go. She has to come closer to Cliff once Nick is gone, and then there'll be a war between Tommy and Christi and Jackson and Holly, and who benefits from that? Cliff. So there's no reason for Cliff to want to flip the vote here, even though Christi probably did make a mistake in telling Cliff that I want to target Jackson and Holly. The real problem that she did today, and this could prove to be prescient later on tonight, Kim, in that Christi told Nicole, I want to get the strong players out of the house and I need to make a name for myself. She basically said, without saying, that she's going to go after Jackson and Holly. I don't know why the hell she told Nicole this. She has to know that Nicole is somebody who would rather keep Nick in the house. And that could prove to be something that has legs later on tonight if Nick gets a hold of it and really finds out about it. But right now, it looks like he's dead men walking.
Agreed.
Do we have any idea?
100%.
Do we have any idea what the next HOH could be, Brent?
We don't. We don't actually, and I have to think that, I mean, when obviously Jackson is playing, he's telling people that he's going to throw it, which I think would be a monument. Actually, I don't think would be a monumental mistake, Kim. I think would be an astronomically bad mistake if he decides to throw it. I'm hoping that the impetus to want to compete will get to him, and he'll have to, not throw it. I'm hoping that that's what takes hold. But right now. Yeah, right now, Jackson and Holly think that Tommy and Christi are going after Cliff and Nicole. They think that Cliff and Nicole are going after Tommy and Christi. And only one of those two things is true. It's certainly true that Cliff and Nicole are going after Tommy and Christi, but it is not true that Tommy and Christi are going after Cliff and Nicole. Tommy and Christi plan on betraying Jackson and Holly. So if Jackson throws HOH to either Christi or Tommy, expecting them to follow through and go after Cliff and Nicole, they are in for a rude awakening, and I'm here for it.
Well, remember, Christi only got soup for dinner, so she's definitely going after it.
Kim, did you see on the feeds where Jackson and Holly were like, we just need to coast this week? I feel like their bed is made. Yeah.
I was shocked because you're at 7 after tomorrow night's eviction. You are at 7, and you think this is the time to coast when you've won 4 out of the last 5 challenges between the two of you. When Jackson has won HOH, POV, POV, with Holly in between there and HOH. That is huge. And there is no coasting available here. But as far as the competition, I think Mickey is setting it up for him to pretend like he's throwing it. They've had so many physical comps. I think this is going to be a mental one. I think it's going to be memory. It would not surprise me if they bring back the birds. Okay. If they bring back the birds overnight and make that, like the
they should have to remember it from last week.
Get to 5.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on that set. Why would they get rid of it?
Yeah, they don't like to waste money.
Birds.
That's true.
They're going to roll. It's sitting right now in the parking lot in Studio at Century City or wherever.
Studio City,
and they're going to, Studio City. They're going to roll it right. They're going to open up that side gate and roll it right in the backyard.
I will say this, though. I take your point about that. Like, I think there's maybe a shot in hell of hearing the bird calls later on tonight. But as I recall listening to those bird calls myself and then rewinding, which, of course, the house guests don't have the luxury of that, not all of those bird calls were consistent. I feel like it was like the spotted owl makes the cry and it was like, and then later on you would hear the same cry again, but it wasn't the same cry. It was like, there was definite differences.
Do you hear those on the feeds? Or do they cut the feeds when they're going to do those?
No, you hear those on the feed.
Yeah. You hear them. And in fact, they actually brought that up in the house. It's like, but they had 2 different things or 2 different descriptions or 2 different bird calls going on. Or I think it was the crow.
Yeah.
Tommy was like, well, I heard it 4 times. And Cliff was like, well, I heard it 6 times. So they did it different ways, which is a perfect tiebreaker. How many of those calls were different?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I was more laughing at Parasocial Dude in the chat he says, Tippy Hedron the heck out of Nicole. Throw live birds at her face like Hitchcock did in Tippy and the Birds.
Tippy Hedron the
Parasocial Dude. How dare you?
Okay.
That's awesome.
So we also last week had no competition on Sunday night. Brett, do you think that they will stick to the new model here?
I'm hoping so, because I really like what they've been doing lately. I like the fact that they're using Sunday night to really fill in a lot of the strategy, a lot of the talking, a lot of the social game that you really gets left on the wayside when you're looking at Big Brother and what counts for a win in the house. So I really like the fact that they're using Sundays to do that, Kim. The other thing that I feel like is true is they played more with the editing this year a little bit, so I don't know if they necessarily need a competition on Sunday night. Maybe they'll have like some sort of luxury competition, because that's what Christi thought she was getting the first time around when the field trip came up. They thought she had manifested a luxury competition, only to be told otherwise.
Not so much.
Yeah,
but so much. I think it'd be at 7. This would be a good time for them to do a luxury competition or a food competition. It's something like that would be fun, but doesn't impact the game.
Yeah, you're such a feeder like me, Kim, because you're like, they should do a food competition. We liked those.
Yeah. I'd rather see no competition than food competition.
No, I like the food competitions.
Yeah,
but
I like the food comps.
Yeah.
But then again,
resentment. Can you imagine Jackson losing a food competition? He'd be so mad. But they don't even do have-nots anymore, so who are we kidding?
What if they put the checklist of all the foods on there and one of the foods is watermelon and someone throws the food comp for that item? Jackson would kill them.
Yeah. I do,
really would.
Actually, you make a good point of just to get a rise out of Jackson. I'm okay with like specific things, and then he could be mad at people when they don't make it. But they need to make it like impossible, where then they lose and there's like almost no way they can win any rounds. So
it should be, that's what they should do, and it should be like the end of Prank Week or something. But I guess they're gonna call this Thursday the end of Prank Week.
Okay. And Kim, we have not seen anything about the clowns.
You know what? And I think that's something we're going to see in tomorrow night's episode.
Yeah.
They're going to show the clowns, the creepy clowns, and they really set it up. They showed a lot of Nicole. She finally got some airtime tonight. And I think we're going to see a lot of her tomorrow night too, because production pranked Nicole with the clowns. Even though they were spooking everyone else out, with Nicole, they made everybody hide. And Nicole didn't know where anybody was.
Yes.
It was like a haunted house.
Yeah.
And they turned out the lights. I was waiting for lightning to show up outside the door, but it didn't. But it freaked Nicole out.
Yeah, for those of you who don't watch the live feeds, we're talking about the fact that behind the mirrors, there were, as they've often done in the past on Big Brother, there were
the
clowns,
aliens,
creepy clowns who were trying to scare the house guests, and that's what Kim is referring to.
How do you feel about clowns, Brent?
They're okay. They've never bugged me.
Yeah.
There's far more things in sci-fi and fantasy that I'm freaked out
like
by more than clowns. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell people. A lot of people watch this show, Rob.
Come on,
Just
people are waiting to make
Brent.
new Twitter
Whisper it.
handles, Brent.
I mean, I was freaked out by it's so funny because it has a clown in it, but I don't really feel like the clown is the thing. And it's,
Yes.
it's I feel like that chapter 2 I'm here for, and I can't wait to see it. But I like being scared, though.
If not the clown, what freaked you out?
Like the little boy and like the drain and the
Drain?
The gutter.
Like with the when he had the sailboat and he lost the sailboat and went down the sewer, and then he went to the sewer and there was the clown there, and then but it wasn't just a clown, it was like a demon face that like bit him or something.
So the sewer, the gutter freaked you out more than the clown in the gutter.
Yeah, it did. Because you never know what's in the gutter.
You never know. Okay. All right. Kim, what else? What else do we need to talk about from Big Brother 21?
Oh, let's see. I was just looking at my notes here to look back. Christi, while Nick was
Do you want me to
campaigning,
give the music I give Caitlin when she reads her notes?
Sure, if you'd like
Okay.
to. In fact, let's get some good, nice. Don't use the same one because I don't want to repeat.
Okay, you want different music? You want different music than what
It can
Caitlin
still
gets?
be-
Okay.
Yeah, it can still be mood music.
Okay, let's see. Let me see. How about this?
Oh, that's good. I like that. Okay, so especially because Christi is also campaigning, and she's going to each person, just like Nick, and she said to Nicole, I love who you are. I love the things you stand for. And if it were me and you somewhere towards the end, I'd be so honored to have played this game with you. Bottom line, Christi is full of shit. She's going to go after Nicole, and she is looking for a jury vote right here. She really kisses up to everybody. With Cliff, she's like, I want to nominate strong people, and I want to be known for getting out someone big. Okay, girl, you're out of here then, because if I'm supposed to be your name, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. I'm not going to be a line on your resume. Which is something
on your
I should put that on
bedpost.
Tinder.
Yeah.
I should put that on my Tinder so that I can get cast for Sequester by Audrey. I don't want to be a line on your resume.
Yeah, like Christi's campaigning to Nicole was, like I said, she made a mistake in letting her know exactly who her targets were. But I really feel like that this will pay dividends later on down the line when. If Christi wins HOH, Christi and Tommy were talking earlier today. At the same time that Jackson and Holly were talking about possibly throwing HOH and letting Cliff and Nicole go after go after Tommy and Christi, and vice versa. Tommy and Christi were secretly plotting Jackson and Holly's demise about what sort of combination of nominations they would put up. Christi wants to just put up Jackson and Holly, but Tommy's like, well, he's still trying to salvage that Holly relationship by just putting up Jackson and Nicole. He thinks that Jackson and Nicole are the nominees. But I am Team Christi on this one. I feel like if you want to get a showman's out, you really have to put them up together. Obviously, if you don't put up Holly with Jackson, Holly could win the veto, take down Jackson, and then where are you? Maybe, I don't know, maybe in that instance, Tommy thinks that they would go after Christi, so he would be safe. But if Tommy wins HOH, I still feel like he would probably put up Jackson and Nicole, and I feel like that would be a wrong call. Another mistake on his part.
Well, I want to know what Rob thinks. Should Jackson throw it?
No, I don't think so. I think that you're at the point where, especially when you get down to final 7, Final 7 and Big Brother, all bets are off. You win everything. There's no throwing at the, like, that's like the official, like that's when Kevin Martin started winning everything in Big Brother Canada 5. You just, Final 7 that's it. Like, you're close enough to the finish line. Win everything you can. There's no throwing.
And he can, Kim. He has 2 competitions coming up that he can win to keep himself safe, and he's going to willingly throw one of them. You're telling me that he's going to throw one of them to keep both him and his showman safe? I think that's crazy.
And we're
talk.
getting to September this week.
No.
Yeah, he's again. They think that they can coast. They think that they think they're in the middle with 2 sides of people on two pairs on either side fighting against each other. They don't realize that Cliff and Nicole are in the middle and Jackson and Holly are on the outside looking in. So it's just a perception about positioning within the game.
Yeah. Now,
Absolutely.
Is it possible that he feels like, okay, well, I could throw HOHs and then I'll go in for every veto, Brent? That he feels like that he can win. He can always win a veto if he needs one.
No, I feel like that he thinks that everybody has given him his word and her word that they will not go after them. He thinks that Christi can't even win HOH at this point, Kim, because he's like, what would she do? Because she's promised safety to everybody. I'm like,
because he's
going
a
to
pompous
betray you.
douchebag.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He is the pompous douchebag, and he doesn't realize that people can play Big Brother.
Yeah.
Welcome to Big Brother, people.
Welcome to Big Brother. And then I want to go back to, I had one other clip from Holly tonight. Kim, what do you think about Holly saying everybody will be Gucci? Gucci. Will be Gucci.
Okay, so like 2013 called and it wants its word back. I haven't. The last person I heard say Gucci was like Jordan Lloyd. She used to say Gucci all the time. So seriously, thank you for the throwback there, Holly.
Yes.
It's because she's an old buzzard, I guess. I don't know.
She doesn't know the new hip words to say.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Kim, I have a question for you, actually, from the great Audrey Middleton.
Yeah.
Access. She's having fun with you here, obviously. She says, Kim, do you agree that your showmance with Cameron on Sequester is comparable to Holly and Jackson? What advice would you give them?
Big Brother 19 Cameron?
No.
Who is the Cameron that they're talking about? This is just on Sequester?
Am I blushing? Because I okay,
You're a married woman.
No, I'm not. I'm a divorced woman. That's why I said I can Tinder. You Tinder, I Tinder. We got it. No, Cameron was, okay, so little behind the scenes fact here on Sequester. Audrey set it up as couples, kind of. I mean, everyone was kind of set up as couples. Cameron said that he liked older women. I don't think he really meant he liked them like 30 years older than him, but
not like Jackson.
Not like Jackson. I was set up as Cameron's showman. So, well, no, not happening.
Not happening.
I'm good with younger men, just not quite that much younger. But Cameron is amazing, and we did sleep together 2 nights in a row, so it was all good.
That's cool. You know, my partner's good with younger men as well. Actually, he was 50 when he met me, and I was 29, which I always get a kick out of because it's like 50 and 29 is like, it's like a whole another universe. Now it's like 44 and 65, and it's not as big of a deal.
Okay.
And Audrey, thank you so much for doing that. Now I'm all.
We love Audrey.
Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. Wow. Kim, we learned so much about you tonight.
Way too much.
Way too much. That's what the podcast gets fun. What else do we need to know about you, Kim?
You know what? You will never find, CBS should love me because I am their person. I have watched Survivor since season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I have watched Big Brother since season 1, including the feeds when they were free and really shitty in season 1.
Yeah. I remember that at my house in college, we dialed up BigBrother2000.com
on AOL.
AOL, right.
Yes, and Real Player. Do you remember Real Player?
Yes.
Yes, I remember trying to cancel Real Player every year.
That's how they would get you. That's how they would get you. Sign up for Real Player.
Exactly. And I mean, I remember Chelsea with her podcast on Real and all that. So been around Big Brother forever. Right down to the fact I was part of a scrapbooking website. Okay. And we're talking Big Brother 9 when that happened.
What's a scrapbooking website?
It was people that scrapbooked. I owned in my previous life, I owned a scrapbook store, retail store. And so we were all pretty heavily published people. So I was in a lot of magazines with scrapbooking pages and cards and all that stuff. I was like a Mormon's dream, I'm telling you. So we had this little chat called the BBBFFs. And so we were the Big Brother BFFs. And that goes back a long time, and still been in touch with a lot of them. Kelly Edge, I've heard you read her tweets before. She was an original BBBFF. And I mean, I remember staying up for like 24 hours straight, freaking out over Shima. You know, we were all like,
what like,
oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, Shima and Big Brother 11. Like, yeah,
exactly.
Were you watching a Big Brother OTT when the whole mirror scandal happened with Jason and Shelby? Yeah, good times.
What was the mirror scandal?
They had an HOH competition where it was on Big Brother OTT where you had to position the mirrors in such a way to make the light bounce to the end. And Shelby's mirror broke. Like, we thought that Jason Roy had won HOH, but then Shelby's mirror broke in the middle of her attempt. So then, like, the feeds went down, which they never went down on Big Brother OTT for, like, I don't know, a good 8 hours that night. And we were like, you know, basically all of Twitter and social media was trying to figure out what is happening. We feel like we know what's happening, that Shelby's mirror broke, and that's what they're trying to fix right now. And it took a while for them to fix it. So, yeah, it was the lasers, Stack's telling me in the chat. I couldn't remember the name of the thing, chat. The laser competition with the mirrors.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so, I mean, I am definitely, and I've watched The Amazing Race since season 1. So the CBS reality shows, I go way back.
Way back.
And so, yeah, I am. I'm kind of a super fan on it.
Yeah, a mega fan.
A mega fan.
I'm a mega fan.
Yeah.
I'm right there with Nicole. I'm a mega fan.
Right there with Nicole. Okay.
So, and that's why Sequester became a part of me, because I'm just a regular person and I'm too old. I'm old. I'm not going to get on The Amazing Race and I'm not going to get on Survivor because they vote me off that beach night 1 for being so bitchy over the rice. They would hate me. They'd throw me off the boat and go, yes, swim. So so Survivor's out of the question, which only leaves Big Brother. And so I used Sequester. I really wanted to try and get cast, and it was the demographic and everything else that I was able to do it. And it was amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
Good job. Yeah. And like I said, I watched your season, and it was pretty fantastic to watch. It was like I said, I think that's a really good analogy. Like, it's like Big Brother, but with twists like The Genius. Like, I feel like that's a really good way to put it. And you really have to, it's a thinking man's game, but also very social. So if you guys, but people in the chat are asking me where to find it. You can find it on YouTube at Sequester Access. I think that's the name of the channel as well. And if you want to watch, obviously, spoiler alert, Kim won season 2 and the money that goes with it. But yeah, you can watch season 2 if you want to. I think there's like 6 to 10 episodes online right now.
Yeah, it's 10 episodes online. 10 episodes. They're all on YouTube. And start with season 1, meet the characters. I'm a character, so meet the characters. But Rob, can I give a little pitch, because season 3 starts in a month?
Yes, you have tea for season 3.
Yes, okay. That you want to plug.
It's breaking news, Rob.
Yes, okay.
There is breaking news here.
All right, breaking news. So hold on. Let me give you your some intro for breaking news.
Breaking news are happening now.
Yes, okay, Kim, what's happening?
Breaking news. Okay, so Sequester season 3 will begin at the end of September. They're going to be in Atlanta again. Season 2, we were way the hell out there, in like 90 minutes away, 2 hours away. But they are actually going to be in Atlanta this time. So that's the first little bit.
Okay, Sequester 3 : Atlanta.
So you're not on the plantation. You're actually in Atlanta this time.
And a house with acreage that has a corral and animals.
Okay. Does Holly work there?
Holly does not work there and will not be serving wine.
Okay.
And PETA will not be involved. I do not see Audrey at all having people chasing sheep.
Okay.
But they've got animals and stuff there on the plantation.
Yes.
I can spill that it will be a cast of 20.
20.
Okay.
There will be 20 people. And this will be the most physical sequester that they've had.
Well, I'm glad you won the last one then, because your chances don't look good.
No shit. So for anybody who's been cast for Sequester 3, you better get down to the gym and work it out, because it is going to be physical. But Audrey's really good about making sure that, like, you know, it's not like Jack going against Nicole. She makes sure that these are physical challenges that everybody can compete in.
Yeah. And the episodes play out live?
No, actually, it'll be, they'll record it from the 25th of September. It's usually about 5 days or so.
Yeah.
She will be releasing the cast the week after it wraps up. So,
okay. So if somebody disappears off Twitter, now will you miss the Big Brother finale?
No.
Okay.
And who?
I think it's
not
like
me.
Right.
I'm not going there.
Oh, okay.
But that was good, Rob. That was a good try.
Yes. Okay.
But I can tell you the tea I can drop,
yes.
and I keep saying Audrey gave me brewing hot tea, but she blew on it first. So it will be more of a physical season. It is a cast of 20. Episode 1 will drop at the end of October or beginning of November. So there's only going to be like 5 weeks from when Sequester ends till it begins, and in between time, she's going to have the cast intros and everything. We'll be able to analyze everyone.
That's great. That's really fun.
Yeah.
By the way, like when Kim was talking about Sequester before, like the Sequester that was online certainly took place live, but the Sequester that's on YouTube, it's more of a finished product and really well done. Everything's edited. You get diary rooms and behind the scenes stuff. So I really encourage people.
How long is an episode?
Like an hour.
Yeah, well, the very first one is usually about an hour and 10 minutes.
To introduce everybody, right?
After that, they run about 45 minutes. It stays pretty true to watching any other 1 hour show, taking out the commercials, because there's no commercials. So you gotta use the bathroom first.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, the other big T. When episode 1 drops, she will start taking. They open up applications that night for season 4.
Okay.
Excellent. I'm glad to see that it's continuing on, because I really feel like it's found its legs now.
It's gotten really big. I know that there's some announcements that you should see coming up pretty soon.
How much money did you win for season 2? It was like
I got $2,500.
That's
for
what
5
I thought.
days.
That turned my head. I was like,
dang.
yeah, there's some real money at stake here. So this isn't just like some little online, reality game that somebody's playing in their backyard on their computer in the basement. No. This is like the real shit, guys.
This is real, and Audrey is amazing at casting, and you're going to see that you don't need all these bells and whistles.
I like bells.
Well, we can have the bells without the whistles to make it a real game, because this is, with as fluid as it is so strategic, and you got to be smart to play Sequester. You really do. So I would encourage everyone, go to YouTube, look up Sequester Access, watch season 2 to get ready for season 3, because it's worth it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
All right. We've got a lot of Sequester news.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Rob. All right. So, Kim, this was very nice to get to catch up. Let me tell you about what else is coming up here on RHAP. The LFC Roundtable this week. Find out what was going on the latest round of the LFC Roundtable. Brent, any highlights? Oh, wait, Brent has his paddle.
I gave 2 people a 1, I believe. Obviously, Nick was getting a 1 from me. I gave him the paddle because he's walking out the door, and I really feel like he could have saved himself this week. Really depressing to watch. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen tonight. There may be an avenue for him to save himself yet, but he's really barking up the wrong tree.
Okay, well,
campaign.
I'm all in on all my money is in Nick on the stock watch.
I saw.
Wait,
I had a real disaster on the stock watch where when the vote flipped from Sam to Cat, I sold all my Cat and bought all Sam, and then that send it to the bottom of the rankings. So and then I sold everything else. I went all in on Nick. But he's blowing it.
Yeah, he's blowing it, and his price is fallen so far on the LFC roundtable. It's actually at $0. Like
Nick's at zero now.
Yeah, so Rob can't even sell, even if he wanted to, because he knows he's going home.
Well, there's going to be prank week, and he's not going home. Okay, prank week is going to bail me out. All right.
Rob's banking on prank week.
I have to.
You and Nick both. I really feel like, don't you feel like, Kim, that part of Nick in his, like, it's seemingly non-existent campaigning all the way up until today. I mean, like, Nick has never brought it like Christi did. And I feel like part of it is that he thinks, he's talked about it on the feeds, but he thinks he's going to stay because he thinks this whole week is a prank. He has talked about that on the feed. So I feel like he's in for a really rude awakening when he really does go home tomorrow night.
And the other thing is, he needs to be a whole lot less condescending when he's talking to these people, because he's talking to them like they are idiots to get rid of him. And
he really is. He's like, you're an idiot if you get rid of me. Like, come on, like if I go home next to her, you're a freaking idiot. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good look. He completely misses the forest for the trees, and just it's typical Nick, where he just feels like his way of doing things is the way everybody else does that. And the great thing about Big Brother and social gaming is that you have to adapt to the way other people process their information, and they don't do it the same way Nick does.
Okay.
So because of that, Nick's at zero, and
he's coming
Rob's
back.
looking
He's
for
coming
prank
back.
week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna win the draft though, so that'll be fun.
You could win the draft.
Me and Brent are like heads up in this draft. Did you have Nick?
Yeah.
In the LFC draft.
Oh, Rob, you're testing mine. I'm old, Rob. What do you want from me? I forget who I had.
Yeah. No, I've got.
I know I had Cliff.
I've got Tommy, Jackson, and Jess. I think you have what? Cliff, Holly, and Nick. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
I think maybe and Taran and Melissa each have one person.
I remember I bought Holly, or I drafted Holly because I said I liked her vibe.
Melissa has Jess Nicole, and then I think it does. Or do you have Christi? I don't know, but. If Sam would have stayed and not Nick, I'd have my whole draft team still in there. Okay.
You would.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Pretty strong.
Yeah. So chicken sandwich wars. Brent, have you had the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
I have not had the Popeyes chicken sandwich, although I'm a bad gay because I went to Chick-fil-A and had their chicken sandwich, and so I didn't even know about these chicken sandwiches.
We're weighing in on chicken sandwich wars over on the latest News AF with Danny and Tyson, and then the Purple Pants podcast. Kim, are you familiar with the Purple Pants badass Bryce Isaiah?
I've been following this and the calendar and all that, so I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
the Zaddy calendar. I'm looking forward to the podcast 3.
Yeah, stay tuned after the episode tonight. We'll have a promo for the Purple Pants podcast at the end of this episode. Bryce Isaiah is back, episode number 3. Check that out, the brand new podcast on our RHAP Ups feed. Then Thursday morning, find out what Taran has for the update heading into eviction night. Hopefully, Kim, I want you to get on the same page as Taran.
I'm trying. This season, I've been more on the same page with Taran than I have been.
Well, that's why we like to have a lot of different opinions on the podcast in the morning.
I will tell you, he wakes me up in the morning. I'm sorry for interrupting, Brett.
No, go ahead. You can interrupt me anytime.
Taran wakes me up because that's 8 a.m. for me. It's 11 for Addis, but it's only 8 o'clock in the morning here. I have my coffee and my toast or cereal or whatever I'm having and yell at Taran usually in the morning. And this season, I haven't had to yell at him that much.
Okay. Yeah. I think for the most part, the fan base is pretty aligned on the same page in this season.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying them.
We're having a lot of Twitter fights. Okay. Thursday
I scramble
night.
my eggs with cheese.
Yes. Caitlin will be here Thursday night. Check us out 10:15 p.m. Eastern time for Caitlin on the live feed update. And then is Melissa with us tomorrow night? Is that
yes, she is.
Check the schedule. Okay. All right. And then of course, find out more about everything that we're doing, connecting all of the fans in the reality TV world together in the Rob Has a Podcast community. Head on over to robhasawebsite.com/patron for information about our Facebook patron groups, our patron podcast feed, and much more going on over at robhasawebsite.com/patron. Okay. Of course, Kim, if people want to follow you on social media, how do they find you?
You know what? I'm Kim Mattina on everything. So it's KIMMATTINA on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of them.
Kim, you have
real original.
quite the following. We had a very robust live audience here tonight.
Really, I did not even pull it up. I couldn't be distracted by any of that. So yeah, I couldn't pull it up tonight. I was too nervous.
Oh, that's okay. I understand the feeling. There are some people, sometimes when we have guests, I'm like, I hope they really didn't pull up the chat, but there were no worries tonight, Kim. The chat was all fine.
I was scared.
Paul in the chat said that, Kim, you have many new stands tonight. So you should be proud. Good job.
I had so much fun. Rob, thank you so much for having me. Brent, thank you for shoving me down his throat.
I do that often.
So you have a great publicist.
I'm excited. It was so much fun. I really appreciate you having me on. So thank you so much. And be sure and check out Sequester Season 2 on YouTube.
Okay. And Brent, of course, is on Twitter at OneLuckyGay. Anything else coming up, Brent?
Nah, I think I'm good. We got RuPaul's Drag Race UK is happening soon. Obviously, we are not covering it proper, but I'm sure that Mike, Liana, and I will check in occasionally for it. RuPaul is going across the pond to crown
so
UK
that's
next drag superstar.
So it's called RuPaul's Drag Race UK, but it's still going to air on what is it, on VH1 now?
It'll air somewhere and I'll find it. That's just, it's kind of like with Big Brother Canada. Like it airs somewhere and we find it. We talk about it. So that's probably what's happening with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got some great podcasts coming up as well. I've got some Big Brother special coverage coming up. I think we're gonna drop that tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. I got a fun podcast coming up. Probably drop during the day on Thursday, and then we'll be back for Thursday night. So be sure.
And can you give us any hints at all?
I really can't. I actually can't because I'm under embargo.
Okay. Fabulous.
All right. But there will be an extra podcast coming from me that I'm
excited about
today.
it. I love it. Secrets. I love it.
All right. I'll tell you after we're live. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks so much, Scott St. Pierre behind the scenes.